Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Jaya Jaya Sati Jana Vallabha Jivaradari Jaya Sati Jana Vallabha Jivaradari Yashodanandana Rajajana Rajana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Or if you're carrying your Bhagavad Gita copies, it is just there in the introduction. It starts with Umagyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kanamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam साधुवेतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखानितांश्रयम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे So we're reading the eighth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Actually, we are discussing the eighth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We could finish last Sunday two parts of the four parts that we have for the eighth chapter. So we'll go ahead today. Before we go ahead, we'll do a quick recap. Do you have any? Do you remember anything that we discussed last? Please raise your hands if you know. So yeah, do you remember anything that we discussed last Sunday? Yes, Kuldeep Bro. Kuldeep Bro. Okay. हाँ ओके फाइन डेथ क्या क्या होता है मतलब एट द टाइम ऑफ डेथ व्हाट हैपेंस यू आर सेइंग एनीथिंग बिफोर दैट आप बीच में आ गए व्हाट डिड वी डिस्कस इन द बिगिनिंग हाउ डिड द एथ चैप्टर कम इनटू प्लेस doubts of Ajay why what are those doubts what kind of questions is he asking sorry what is adhyatma what is brahman what is karma what is adi bhuta adi daivya he's asking these questions because these are certain terms that Krishna uses in the seventh chapter in the end of the seventh chapter तो वहाँ से he was not able to catch it actually he was able to catch everything we are not able to catch many things so for us again and again he is asking detailed questions okay so there were some doubts in the mind of Arjuna what else then after doubts what happened so these are some questions that Arjuna is asking you know adhyatma then brahman what is brahman then we saw there is para brahman like the way we are atma there is paramatma then he's asking about karma okay how we according to the currency we have the capacity to spend it जितना पैसा होगा उसके हिसाब से हम घर खरीद सकेंगे राइट अगर हमारे पास 1 BHK का पैसा है तो हम 3 BHK नहीं खरीद सकते सो कर्मा इज द करेंसी दैट यू हैव टू get reactions to get situations good and bad okay. So we saw different examples what else then he asked about adi bhuta the ever changing manifestation so we saw that there are two kinds of machines in the world the one the bodily machine and one is a cosmic machine which is always undergoing a change so everything that is living everything that is conscious has uh, the six stages you know, has the six stages of growth then maintenance then byproducts then dwindling and then vanishing so this is the six stages that are there and if something is matter dead matter it cannot reproduce okay? Like I gave an example of a big truck and a Innova car cannot produce a nano car. Okay? It cannot. Only when it is a living force, it can have some byproduct. Then it is also asked that what is Adi Daiva? Okay. People like the Ashtang yogis, Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, they meditate upon the supreme form of the Lord, the Virat Rupa of the Lord. Okay. And that is how they meditate upon the Virat Swarupa of the Lord. Like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, sun and moon are my eyes. You know? Hare Krishna project. Yeah. There are Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, there are Ashtam yogis who meditate upon the form of the Lord, supreme form of the Lord. And here it's a description that how the different limbs of the body are the different planetary systems of the Supreme Lord. Like Krishna says that sun and moon are my eyes. हम कभी कभार कहीं जाते हैं तो हम कुछ अगर कुछ हमें कुछ करना है जो किसी को पता नहीं चले तो हम क्या करते हैं सीसीटीवी से बचते हैं देखते हैं ऐसे है जैसे ये रूम में भी सीसीटीवी है रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है सब कुछ कौन आ रहा है कौन जा रहा है कौन सो रहा है कौन आंसर कर रहा है तो दिस इज बीइंग रिकॉर्डेड इन द टेंपल सीसीटीवी रूम बट कृष्ण इज सेइंग इसके पहले ही मैंने सीसीटीवी लगाया है सन एंड मून यू नो सन एंड मून तो हमेशा होते हैं ना जैसे ही सन सेट होता है तो मून राइज होता है मून सेट होता है तो सन राइज होता है इट इज वेरी नेचुरल प्रोसेस ओके अभी कुछ लोग कहेंगे कि हाँ मैं अमावस्या के दिन कुछ कर सकता हूँ मून आता ही नहीं that is our intelligence that is our foolish intelligence which makes us believe that अगर sun and moon हो सकते हैं तो कुछ और नहीं हो सकता क्या अमावस्या के दिन हो सकता है the Lord's creation is perfect there is nothing imperfect because of that we can never escape the vision of the Supreme Lord Chitragupt ka the his name is Chitragupt why you know because वो गुप्त तरीके से आपका चित्र ले लेता है पता नहीं चलता इसलिए उसका नाम चित्रगुप्त है I'm not joking that is why his name is Chitragupt because he secretly he will come and take a photo so on Amavasya he is very active so the point is that we may try to fool the nature or the prakriti the rules of the Lord but that doesn't work always it will definitely not work so then he saw that Adi Daiva was also a question of Arjuna then there was a question of Adi Yagna that how sacrifices are performed for the pleasure of Vishnu. And we saw an example that how a Brahmana would perform yajna, and the yajna fal would go in the form of sacrifice up in the heavenly planets. Because of performing yajna, you will get birth in heavenly planets, and in heavenly planets you become a ahuti for the rains, for the clouds, and when the rains would come down, that will become ahuti for the soil, and grains would come out. And the grains will again we will have that become the ahuti for us to develop semen, and the semen becomes ahuti to beget a woman, the womb of a woman. That becomes an ahuti, and then again a child is produced. So that cycle keeps going on. So yagna is a sacrifice that how in this process the living entity makes specific sacrifices to attain specific heavenly planets and consequently reaches them. So sacrifice karte karte he reaches up and then again comes down also. Reaches up again comes down also. So in this way the living entity perpetually comes and goes on the material path. He comes, आता भी है and then again goes by. But a Krishna conscious person avoids such kind of sacrifices. He takes directly to Krishna consciousness and thereby prepares himself to return to God. Directly takes up the process of bhakti and he surpasses these sacrificial processes and directly goes to the Supreme Lord. That is Vaikuntha, Golok Vrindavan, Supreme Lord Godhead. So these were few doubts of Arjuna. What is the second part that we discussed? Yeah, we discussed about death. Okay, what's going to happen at death? Now, how many of you were there last Sunday? Many of you were there last Sunday. ऐसे हाथ उठाओगे तो कैसे पता चलेगा लग रहा है कि आशीर्वाद दे रहे हो हमेशा है इससे हाँ बुरा सकते हैं. So death, we saw that what will happen at the time of death. Hmm? Antakale cha mameme smaran mukta kalevaram. So Krishna says two very important verses in the Bhagavad Gita, which we saw over here, that whatever one remembers at the time of death, he achieves that. He achieves that. So antakale cha mamevam smaran mukta kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nashti atra samshaya. So at the end of the life, if one remembers me while quitting his body, he will come to madbhavam. He will achieve me. He will reach me. So that is this. And if you remember, like I gave the example of that person who had a mill in Calcutta and he was on the deathbed, but all his four sons were in front of him. So he was asking, if you all are here, then who's in the mill? So I'll die, and he died saying this. So his attachment was to the mill. Maybe he would have become a rat in the mill because there was so much of attachment. So at the time of death, whatever we remember, we'll get that. Like then we saw the example of Ajamil. It's not working. Anyway, so we saw the example of Ajamil, where Ajamil remembered his son, whose name was Narayan. Because he remembered his son Narayan, what happened? He was saved by the Vishnu Dutams. And then eventually he was given a second chance where he got to practice Krishna consciousness. He practiced Krishna consciousness like in a holy place like Haridwar. And then when time came, again, he again went back to Godhead. Vishnu, Vaikuntha plane came and he was sent back to the spiritual world. He perfected his life. So we saw the example of Vaikuntha. We saw the example of Ajamin. Yeah, over here. So we saw the example of Ajamin. He's going to die. So then he got a chance to practice, and then when he perfected, again Vaikuntha plane came to take him back to spiritual world. Similarly, we saw an example of Gajendra, where while Gajendra was fighting with the crocodile, uh, he was Indradumna Maharaj in the previous life. Maharaj Indradumna. He recited the prayers to Vishnu, and Vishnu came to save him. So Gajendra is going back to Vaikuntha, okay, spiritual world. So at the time of death, when one remembers the Supreme Lord, he achieves that. And then over here, see, Gajendra has reached also the spiritual world. Yeah. This is a spiritual world where everybody is serving the Supreme Lord Narayan. This is Vaikuntha, actually, not Golava. This is Vaikuntha. So, on what basis do we get our next body? What basis we get our next body? Sorry? Karma and desire. Okay. There's a nice verse that Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati yam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So he's saying whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, a son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So one is your actions and one is your desire that decides your next birth. So if you remember in SOS, we mentioned briefly about death. What is death? Is a question. Who am I? Uh, who is God? What is death? And then we say that when you come for the Gita classes, we'll explain you in detail. This is the section where you are told we get knowledge that how death takes place and what happens after death. Where will we go? So now we all certainly know that whatever I remember at the time of death, that is what I'm going to achieve. So death is painful, you know. Like anybody knows how painful death is? Huh? Like yesterday I was attending a Srimad Bhagavatam class, and that somebody said that death is painful as much to 40,000 scorpions biting you. Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that 40,000. एक bite किया है किसी को? One bite. Any which ways, even if one bites, it will be painful. 40,000 also it will be painful. So death is so painful. But how can you remember Krishna at that time? Say we are walking on the street और एक कांटा भी लग जाता था हम कहते हैं मम्मी पापा. Sometimes we say that, or sometimes we will also utter a bad word because that is what we are used to. That is what we are used to. So when death will come, whatever you are used to, if you are used to calling Fifi, Fifi will come in. Fifi is the name of a pet dog of a person who I know. So if you are attached to a pet dog or a cat, then you will remember that person at the time of death. So it's very important. We that is why it is recommended that we practice the process of chanting. Because if you are able to chant right now, 16 rounds, as age progresses we'll chant more rounds, and when we become very very old, we'll almost spend our whole day in chanting. It will be very easy, and then when death will come, you'll be able to easily remember कि मैंने क्या किया है. When I was 21, 22, people used to call me from ISKCON. I used to go to ISKCON. बहुत बुलाते थे उन लोग. स्ट्रगल करके मैं पहुंचता था और फिर ज़बरदस्ती बढ़ के माला करवाते थे. ठीक है, उसके वजह से बाद में मैंने थोड़ा और माला किया और मैंने पूरे लाइफ लॉन्ग उसको कंटिन्यू किया. और जब अभी मैं मरने की हालत पे आया हूँ तो मुझे अभी सब वही याद आ रहा है. आई थैंक एवरीबडी. अदरवाइज पूरा ज़िंदगी में many people they watch at least 4-5 movies in a day, in a week. Now because of OTT platforms and all, you at least watch one movie a day. Yeah, people have become crazy. This is the most dangerous device ever developed by mankind. People have become crazy. So just imagine you've just watched movies. पूरी जिंदगी आपने मूवी देखी है. बस वही आएगा फिर. पाब्लो एस्कोबार आएगा, फिर ये आएगा, फिर वो आएगा, बिकॉज आपने वही देखा है. You just watch that Netflix, Amazon video plans. वही देखा है आपने. You will just remember all those things. Just imagine if you remember a drug dealer when you're dying. Finish. You'll be born in Colombia. in a drug cartel. Just imagine. It's dangerous. ये मैं हवे में नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. शास्त्र वर्णन है. स्वयं भगवान कह रहे हैं यम यम वापी स्वरम भावम. It's not an air. It's Bhagavad Vani. The Lord Himself is speaking. We give an example of Bharat Maharaj in future in ahead when we gave an example of Bharat Maharaj, right? That is Bharat Maharaj. Yeah, that is Bharat Maharaj. We gave an example of Bharat Maharaj. He takes up a body of a deer. Bharat Maharaj was not like an ordinary. उसको फोन करके बुलाना नहीं पड़ता था. संडे क्लास आ जाओ भैया, होने वाला है 11 बजे, प्लीज रीच, कैरी भगवत गीता कॉपी, कैरी मीट बैग. कुछ बोलना नहीं पड़ता था. Bharat Maharaj was young. At his young age, he left his kingdom and went to perfect his life in the forest. When he did that, 98% he had already achieved perfection. But at the end of his life, he got attached to a deer. So much attached कि सोते वक्त सीने पे deer को लेके सो जाता था. And then यज्ञ करता था तो deer के साथ खेल के यज्ञ करता था. Things like that. So much attached. Please move a little ahead. There's a lot of space here. So he was already at a very high level of realization, but still, because of small, क्या कहते हैं, deception, deviation, carelessness, or laxity, he had to take birth again as a. Just imagine. So that's why we should take it very seriously. We should not risk our we should not risk our human form of life, especially. It's not to be something that we should risk it. So that is why practicing chanting is very important. You should nicely, sincerely chant, nicely, sincerely read. Yesterday I was hearing a class of Narottam Priya Prabhu, and he was mentioning that how His Holiness Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj left his body. Many of you may not know about it because you are fairly very new to ISKCON society and Krishna consciousness. But I'll tell you brief about him. So Kadamba Kanana Swami Maharaj is a very stalwart ISKCON leader, and he joined ISKCON 1 month after Prabhupada left. So 1978 January Prabhupada left, and 1978 February March Maharaj joined. He was a Dutch from Amsterdam. Amsterdam. He's saying that one thing that the Dutch are famous in is that they never accept any authority structure. Authority structure, किसी के सामने किसी को अपना ऊपर नहीं मानेंगे, and they love to break rules. So he came from that background, but got introduced to Krishna consciousness in Vrindavan. His first service and his first temple that he got connected was at Vrindavan. He got connected to the Vrindavan temple, and at that time in 80s, Vrindavan was a very different place to what it is now. There were some good things, and the good things were that Vrindavan was not as crowded it is now. Okay, it was not as polluted it is now. वहाँ पे परिक्रमा मार्ग पे आप सो जाओ तो कोई कुछ नहीं बोलेगा इतना. It was less. It was more like a village setup, no modernization. But at that time in the 80s and 90s, mafia हुआ करता था वहाँ पे. Mafias, dacoits, you know, and अगर पंगा ले लिया तो उड़ा देंगे आपको. ठीक है. So that's what happened. He was there was some mafia or dacoit that was trying to harass the temple in ISKCON and Vrindavan, and he was standing strong. So they had decided that we will kill him because he was a temple president. He was the main adhyaksh of the temple. We'll shoot him. So one day dacoits attacked. He ran, hid himself in the bathroom, and then from the top they shot like this and ran away, thinking that he is being shot. So he was actually shot. He was shot here. There's a scar. He felt unconscious, and he went. His entire body on that side where he was shot was paralyzed for 6 months, and they thought he's dead, but Krishna has saved him. And when he went, he left Vrindavan, and he was again going to come back after getting cured. But they told him that don't come back. If you come back, they will kill you. So he didn't come back. He was traveling. He then later on took sannyas. He was a grahastha. When he joined, he was a grahastha. Later on, he took sannyas, preached in the entire European countries. Then he came back to Vrindavan also, preached here, and again traveled, became a very famous leader, a famous kirtanian also. His kirtans are very melodious. You can hear them. So just a year ago, he got diagnosed with cancer, and the doctor said, "You have 6 months, and if you take some treatment, maybe 1 year, 2 years, maybe 2 years." Maharaj said, "I'm not going to take any treatment. Whatever is the will of the Lord, I will accept that." So the Pushpa Samadhi that you see in Mayapur, हम लोग आए थे Mayapur, Pushpa Samadhi, that is entirely made by him. It's in his, that is in his surveillance, in his supervision. The entire Pushpa Samadhi was made. So very grand projects he did. Uh, So he came back. So what he did when he got diagnosed with cancer, he went to each and every place in Europe, in America, wherever he was preaching, wherever his disciples were there. He had more than 5,000, 6,000 disciples. He went and did the program there, gave a final lecture, did a final kirtan in each place for 5, 6 months, and then after that he came back to Vrindavan. He came back on the day of Radha Ashtami, and before Radha Ashtami day, uh, there is another very senior Prabhupada disciple, His Grace Gurujan Prabhu. He was mentioning that when Maharaj came back on Radha Ashtami day, it seemed like a warrior is returning back to Vrindavan, because he joined Vrindavan and then he went out to preach. He got shot. He went out to preach. He preached successfully for so many years, and then after preaching, he came back. So with him, he also got all his followers. All 5,000 disciples also came with him, because Maharaj was going to leave body in the next few months. You know, and because he had decided that he will not take any medicines, you he had a very tough time in the end. So when he came back, after coming back also in Vrindavan for the next 2, 3 months, he went to each and every holy place in Vrindavan, and he did katha with his disciples, kirtan, and then finally, when his body was not able to reciprocate to him moving out, he took rest for in a room. While he was resting in the room, also he had made a playlist of the lectures he's going to hear of Prabhupada, playlist of the bhajans that he's going to hear of Prabhupada, list of books that he's going to read, how many, which chapters of Bhagavatam he's going to read. All these things he had made. कि जब मैं रूम में रहूंगा और मेरे पास कुछ करने के लिए सेवा नहीं रहेगा, बाहर जाने के लिए प्रचार करने के लिए रहेगा, so I will do these things. And anyone of you all experience asthma or asthma? No, you're young, nobody would have. But you try doing one thing tomorrow. If you are living in a multi-story building or even in a four-story building, run up and down 4 times on the stairs, and then try to chant one mantra of Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Maharaj, because of his cancer, he was continuously 24 hours was feeling breathlessness. So to chant 16 rounds, he would take 18 hours. How many? 18 hours in the end. In the end, when he was very sick, he would take 18 hours to chant 16 rounds. Still, he would do it. Just imagine. चलो आप कर भी दोगे mechanically. Hare Krishna. But how much will you remember Krishna? Or how much will you really focus on it? So his guru, Kadamakaran Swami Maharaj's spiritual master, Jai Advaita Swami Maharaj, is Jai Advaita Swami Maharaj. He's Prabhupada disciple. He said, looking at that, he said that, for you, I'll make a concession, because, in such a state you are. If you chant one bead, एक ही मणि पे, एक ही bead पे अगर आप हरे कृष्णा बोल दोगे, that will be equal to 1 round. ऐसे 16 करोगे तो 16 rounds are done for you. So Kadamakananda Swami Maharaj folded his hands, he held his hand and he said, please don't give me such an instruction. Please don't take away my service of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Never give me such an instruction. So this Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj was glorifying Kadamakananda Maharaj after he left his body. This is the next day. After he left his body, the next day, Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj is narrating this incident. And Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj is if you hear his lectures, he gives very heavy lectures, very powerful lectures. But when he was speaking this, tears were flowing down from his eyes. So Kadamakananda Swami Maharaj, at the time of death also, when he knows, okay, he's embracing it, but he continued to chant, he continued to do. The day he left also, that day also, he had finished his 16 rounds. So when they were putting him in samadhi, because you have to make them wear fresh sannyas clothes, tilak and all, they saw this scar, you know. That is how this whole incident I was narrating. They saw the scar where he had got hit the bullet. This is the guy who took a bullet for Krishna. We are the nowhere. This is the guy who took a bullet for Krishna. Shot a bullet. What will be the destination? So we should take it very seriously. There are great stalwarts. ये तो हमारे सामने हो रहा है, we hear about great saintly people leaving body very nicely. We hear about Prabhupada seeing in the video leaving body gloriously. Prabhupada is on the deathbed, but he's translating Srimad Bhagavatam. Many of the disciples, senior disciples of Prabhupada would often tell Prabhupada that Prabhupada, please, now we will handle. You just do bhajan, sit, relax. Your health is not keeping well. But Prabhupada, like, don't take away my service to the spiritual master. His service to the spiritual master was translating books and spreading the mission. So we can develop that mood only when we hear, read, and associate with devotees. This is what happened just right now, a few months ago. We were all watching it live. So such great people are there. That's how you can achieve. मैं वही बता रहा हूँ ना कि ये मैं हवे में नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. शास्त्र का वर्णन है. और लोगों ने ऐसे जी के जल्दी गए हैं. People have lived their life and left also like that. They have lived their life also and left like that. So if you practice the process, like जैसे मैंने बताया था उस दिन, medicine एकदम सही है. आपका लेने के तरीके पर डिपेंड करता है. How do you take the medicine and how serious you are about taking the medicine. The medicine and the effects of the medicine are absolutely correct. Just imagine somebody born in Dutch in Amsterdam. People go from here to Amsterdam to enjoy. Drugs is free there, Right now there is an over tourist population in Amsterdam. They want to curb that. People want to go and enjoy there. Somebody from there has come, got the mercy of Prabhupada, has come, perfected life and gone back and back about it. One lifetime. We are to here. We are here. We are in India. We are not even in Amsterdam. We are here in Andheri, Santa Cruz, Villepalla, Goregaon, Morivelli, Mulund. Still, we are there only. We are there only, as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is, and we are also as it is. No change. Right? No change. Because human life is not meant for these things. When we saw this, death will come like this, anytime. कभी भी कुछ भी हो जाएगा. Abhishek Mal is not here, but Abhishek Mal's junior in Credit Suisse, okay, in his previous company that he was working, died of a heart attack. It came in the news. I am Bangalore student dies of a heart attack, 27 years old. Anybody read that news? Huh? He was working for Abhishek. He was in Abhishek's team. Before that news broke out, Abhishek had informed me that Prabhu ऐसा हुआ, died of a heart attack. 27 साल का. आपको डरा नहीं रहा हूँ, रियलिटी बोल रहा हूँ. So you have to be very serious. Death can come at any time, in any way. So where will they go after leaving this? What's the deciding factor? Deciding factor is our yam yam api smaran bhavam. Whatever we do smaran, whatever we remember at the time of death, that is what we are going to remember. If we are like this, that is what we are going to get. We are also, many of us fall in this category. We fall in all these categories. Then these facilities are there. These facilities are there for us to Prakriti will say, hey, you can just sleep for a few hours. If you really want to sleep more than that, take a bear's body, see this guy. So we should take it very seriously. Then I gave an example of Bharat Maharaj, like how Bharat Maharaj. So we should not get attached to. We should try and get attached to God, not our pet dogs and cats and our bodily relationships, skin colors. We should get attached to God because that is only going to give you some. Uh, that is only going to help you. Otherwise, nothing is going to. Yeah. So hearing is important. Hearing a lecture, coming for a class is important, but practical application is the most important. Only then will it be possible to remember Lord constantly. अगर हम प्रैक्टिकली अप्लाई नहीं करेंगे, हम अगर जप माला में हाथ डाल के जप नहीं करेंगे, there is no possibility that we are going to remember the Lord. Because death is like a recap. You get a recap of your entire life, whatever you've done. Good, bad, nonsensical things, whatever you've done. Death is like a recap. You know? And that recap, you will remember what you've done. So see, as I was giving an example that all these people, they perfected their lives and went back home back to. So many times people feel कि अरे तो क्या मुझे सब कुछ छोड़ के करना पड़ेगा क्या मुझे मतलब will I have to develop an hairstyle like you or will I have to take up a dress like you? What do you feel? You following? हाँ many times people feel ना क्या हमें आपकी तरह बनना पड़ेगा ऐसे शिखा विखा रखना पड़ेगा मुंडन कराना पड़ेगा रास्ते पे नाचना पड़ेगा ऐसे करना पड़ेगा क्या हमें? Krishna says no. He says Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. You remember me and fight. You perform your duty, but you remember me while performing your duty. If you're a student, then remember Krishna and study. If you're working, then remember Krishna and work. Offer your hard-earned money in Krishna's service. Don't use your hard-earned money to just increase your gratification का quota. ठीक है? We keep accumulating. मैं और मजे करूंगा, और मजे करूंगा, और मजे करूंगा. Wow, 20% hike. अभी 20% में तो और भी मजे आएंगे. That is what our plan is. That is what our plan is. But that is a foolish plan because you cannot enjoy the material world. You cannot enjoy the material world. Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. I am the Bhoktaram. सब चीजों का enjoyer मैं ही हूँ. You are not going to enjoy the material world. Possibly नहीं है. Think peacefully. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. कितना खा लोगे यार? Like we were giving feast every day in Mayapur. Even if you are offering third, fourth time, people लो, और एक चमचम लो, और एक चमचम लो. कितना खाओगे चमचम? How much can you eat? How much can you enjoy? Those who came to Mayapur can realize every day was a feast. Then some people say, Prabhu, khichdi de do. Aaj please khichdi bana do. Right? Some people are like that. Prabhu, kuch simple milega, simple. Every day some pakwan, every day some feast. Kitna karo? Mating, how much will you mate? Can you mate like 20 times like a pigeon? How much? You'll fall dead. We are not meant for that. करोगे तो एक ही बच्चा निकलेगा 9 महीने के बाद कितने निकालोगे the dog takes out six together 8 together do you have the capacity to grow 6 together we are not specialists in that meeting sleeping कितना सोओगे वो उठेगा सो जा सोते ही रह तू अरे बोला मुझे बाथरूम जाना अरे सोते रहे भैया can you keep just sleeping even if the bathroom is next to you you cannot just keep sleeping for 7 days मेरे दिन people अरे बहुत पढ़ाई किया बहुत एग्जाम बहुत स्ट्रेस था यार अभी मैं एक हफ्ता सो जाऊंगा कैन यू स्लीप फॉर 1 वीक हम बोलते We may take rest for one day and immediately next day we want to get again active or into some kind of engagement. We are not meant for these things. And you will not get pleasure in these things. See, you will not get pleasure also in these things. If you have overeaten, you will feel, "यार, बहुत खा लिया, हिल भी नहीं पा रहा हूँ मैं." You feel bloated. You will not even move. See, there's no possibility you can enjoy it. There's no possibility that you can enjoy it. Like there's going to be a line ahead in this verse where Krishna is going to say that how I have made this material world, dukhalayam ashashvatam. मैंने बनाया ही ऐसा है दुखालयम. अभी इसमें आप सुख ढूंढ रहे हो, कैसे मिलेगा? मैंने ही बनाया, मैं ही बनाने वाला हूँ. मैंने बनाया है, आई हैव मेड एन इलेक्ट्रिक कार. आप जबरदस्ती उसमें पेट्रोल डाल रहे हो. मैंने बनाया ही इलेक्ट्रिक उसको. The manufacturer has made it electric. You're trying to put petrol in that, diesel in that, and run the car. How is it possible? So बनाने वाले ने बनाया ही दुखालयम. How are you going to find sukh in that? You know? But every time we have been given that hope and illusion, नहीं होगा बेटा. हम होंगे कामयाब. Yes, we can become successful. We can become kamyab in this human form of life if we achieve the supreme destination. We are all meant for that. Especially when we are born in Bharatvarsha. Otherwise, it's a waste of life. So we should not waste. We should not, like your housewife, don't make a reel out of it. Huh? You can go somewhere, and I can be trolled tomorrow. Like recently, Sudha Murthy is being trolled for something that she spoke about her frank opinion, right? Trolling is another profession which is going to come up now. You're going to get paid for it. ये ले भैया सैलरी इसको ट्रोल करते रहते. Right? So we have to be absorbed in Krishna. You have to be absorbed in Krishna, and don't allow your consciousness to go anywhere. So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, by remembering me, without you allowing your mind to wander here and there, fight. Focus on your work. You do your work nicely. Become a big businessman. But along with that, use your fruits for spreading the message of Krishna. Because everybody cannot. मैंने बताया ना कि लोगों को लगता है कि हम एक हायरिंग, हम बहुत बड़ा मास हायरिंग कर रहे हैं और ये सारा हायरिंग क्लास है, हम हायर कर रहे हैं लोगों को इस्कॉन में, रिक्रूट कर रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है. वी वांट यू टू बिकम गुड devotees and apply and become culturally rooted so that you can give it to others wherever you are. You can give it to your future family if you become married, but you have the culture within you. If all of you come in temple, then where will we go? Understand? So we are not into the recruiting mood. Many people feel that. सब लोग फॉलो अप करते हैं. मेरे को उसके ऐसे हेयर स्टाइल करवा देंगे 6 महीने में. तिलक विलक ला के धोती कुर्ता जबरदस्ती पहना के बोलेंगे करना ही पड़ेगा. Not like that. We can inspire you. Like many of you came to Mayapur, you all wear dhoti kurtas. Some of you are not wearing today also. Those who came to Mayapur. We don't tell you, भैया क्यों नहीं आया? Mayapur आया था ना? चल चल धोती कुर्ता नहीं पहन सकता? चल बाहर. We don't say like that. We can inspire you. We can give you the realization to adopt, to come to culture that we are into. But we cannot force you. Because the Lord Himself doesn't force you. He also gives you the free will. Free will to decide what we have to do. It's up to us to decide what we have to do. So the Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. One can continue them at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's name, one will be transferred to the supreme planet, Krishna Loka, without a doubt. Srila Prabhupada said, one lifetime is enough. One lifetime. One disciple asked him, Prabhupada, this seems like, we see the Golok chart, यहाँ पे है नहीं. कितना दूर है ये ऊपर. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. In one lifetime, it is enough. Provided we are serious, we are sincere, and we have the desire to do it. Otherwise, it's not possible. So that brings us to the third part, third and the fourth that we want to cover today. Any questions up till now? I just did a recap. I didn't do. I didn't explain in detail. Just a recap of what we did last Sunday. Okay.
Prabhu, if that come in 1 second, then how we can remember the message?
That will come in 1 second only.
But
That will not come over a half an hour or 1 hour.
if you are,
Even if you go into coma, you will not surely feel that I'm going to die. Sometimes you may get a prior notice like this कि हाँ आपको terminal cancer हुआ है जाने वाला है. But that 1 second only, flick of a second.
if car hits you and
So that I'm saying, na, at the time of death, you will just remember that now it's time for you to leave the body. That time, whatever you, because it's so much of, it's such a painful state. Whatever you have practiced, say some people practice math problems a lot. So नींद में भी 3 बजे पूछेगा ए बोल 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 क्या होगा फॉर्मूला क्या है बोल देगा क्योंकि उसने वो प्रैक्टिस किया है. तो अगर आपने फुल लाइफ we all positively presume that हम average life जिएंगे 60-70 years तक जिएंगे. तो अगर हमने full जिंदगी पूरा full life we have nicely practiced done साधना भक्ति शास्त्र पढ़ना. साधना भक्ति मतलब जप करना शास्त्र पढ़ना यात्रा में जाना साधु संग करना प्रसाद लेना इसे साधना भक्ति कहते हैं. ठीक है. अगर हम साधना भक्ति सिंसियरली करते हैं फॉर यू नो 20, 30, 40 years, then there is high chances that we will remember that. Because majority of our life we have done that. No? If you live for 60 years, out of which 40 years you did that. More than 60%, 70% of your life you have done that. So it's natural that you will remember that. It's natural. Because everything comes like a flashback to you in that 1 second. So remembrance will only come if you have practiced. Otherwise, like thorn pricking you. Pain, no? Now it's pain. So pain से आपको किसी को you are remembering something, right? So you're remembering mother, father, or your friend, or a bad word. Whatever we are used to. If you are speaking 100 bad words in a day, then we will remember that. फटाक से निकलेगा. सोते सोते सपने में भी निकलता है. Because I'm used to have. We are in that culture. So now Krishna is speaking about after the doubts that he is clearing of Arjuna, and then after he's speaking about death, end of life में क्या होता है. He now speaks about how yoga mishra bhaktas, basically those who are ashtang yogis, how they can remember Krishna. So this is a process which is here he's giving a clue. He's giving a clue for yoga mishra bhaktas, जो ashtang yogi है, जो वो meditate upon the form of the Lord, the Paramatma form of the Lord. You've taken darshan of Balaji. Balaji is this form of the Lord. Anywhere you take darshan of Balaji, if you go to our Pune temple, also there's a Balaji temple behind in the Pune campus itself. Proper huge Balaji deity is there. So wherever you take Balaji deity darshan, it's like this form of the Lord in the heart, Paramatma. If you want to see how Paramatma looks, you take the darshan of Balaji. How Paramatma within us looks, it's actually the form of Balaji. Sham, Chakra, Gada and Padma. Standing in this form, exactly in this form. Okay, so Krishna gives a clue for the Yoga Mishra Bhaktas. These are the people who do Ashtang Yoga. So how can they remember the Lord? So they remember him like this. You can recite this after me. Kavim Puranam Anushashitaram Anor Ani Yamsham Anusmaradyaha सर्वस्य धर्तारमचिन्तरूपाम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसा परास्ता So he's saying they consider him as Kavim. Kavim means the one who is very learned, very learned person. Kavim. He's very, very, the Lord is the most learned person. Kavim Puranam. Puranam means he's the oldest. Doesn't mean that he has a beard and he walks with a stick. Okay, doesn't mean that oldest means. Oldest means that he's there since time immemorial and there is nobody who's there before him. He's there since beginning. That's how he is the Puranam. Anushashitaram. Anushashitaram means the supreme controller. He's a controller of everything. The controller of the sun and the moon, the planets and the universe, everything. Anushashitaram. Anor Aniyamsha. So he is smaller than the smallest. How can Paramatma be there within our heart? He's saying that he's smaller than the smallest. He can enter into each and every atom. Occupies the whole universe also. Okay. Anusmarad. Anusmarad Yaha. So yeah, as I said, he's there in every atom and he's also present as the Vishnu form in our hearts. Sarvasya Dhataram. Like, so what's the word to word meaning of Sarvasya Dhataram? Yeah, of everything he's the maintainer. He's maintaining everything. Like, for example, the pearls are kept together by the nylon thread. Like this kanti is there. There is a thread which is holding the beads. Similarly, Krishna is taking care of everything in place. He's the one who's taking care of rising of the sun, setting of the sun, rising of the moon, setting of the moon, imbibing the fragrance in the flowers, tasting the food. Any of our fathers doing that? Do we have to worry about that? कल सुबह सूरज आएगा या नहीं आएगा? We are not sure कल सुबह हम देखेंगे सूरज या नहीं. सूरज तो आएगा ही आएगा. हम उसे देखेंगे या नहीं? We are not sure. Many probabilities. One probability that you actually don't wake up, you're dead. Another probability is that at 6 o'clock you go into the room and you don't get up till 10 o'clock. You didn't see the sun rising. There are many probabilities that you may not see the sun, but it comes, cloud showers the rain. Medicines, there are certain natural medicines which are readily available. Who makes it available? By the Lord's arrangement, everything is there. So that is Sarvasya Dhataram. He is the maintainer of everything. He is the maintainer of everything. Then yet he is Achinta Rupam. His form is inconceivable. Inconceivable form doesn't mean impersonal form. He doesn't have. It doesn't mean that he has an impersonal form. Inconceivable form is beyond our conception. Beautiful form. Because the Lord's form is Satchidananda, Vigraha. He has a form. So, but his Varnam is Aditya Varnam. Tamasha Parastat. Tamasha Parastat means darkness and transcendental. So out of ignorance, he exists to exist beyond the ignorance of this world. He's existing beyond this world also, and even the darkness of this world. So this is the way a yoga Mishra Bhakta would meditate upon the Lord. One who is doing Ashtang Yogi, he would meditate upon the Lord in this way. He would consider the Lord in this way, that he is a great personality, he is Puranam, he is Anushashitaram, Anishayam, then Sarvasya Dhataram, Achinta Rupam, Aditya Varnam. He would consider these aspects of the Supreme Lord and meditate on this form of the Lord. And then he would follow the Sat Chakra system. Sat Chakra system is the 6 chakras which are there in the body. Like there is a Muladhara chakra which is right at the bottom, and then there is a Brahmananda chakra which is right at the top. So they would try to control the different types of air that are there within the body. There are 10 types of air. I'm not going detail. I don't know much detail about Ashtanga Yoga, but there are 10 types of air, and these types of air are moving around in the body, and they are all balanced in the region of the heart. That is why the soul is present in the heart. So that is what the Ashtanga yogis they try to do. They try to control the movement of the air within the body. So they close different holes of outlets of the body. Like they try to shut the rectum and they try to control the air and pass the air slowly up. So this is the Shat Chakra system. So from Muladhara Chakra, the Kundali is the air that is passing the soul. is moved up slowly, gradually. First at a when you practice Ashtanga Yogi, they try to control the movement of the air at a ant space, like an ant. Then, like the pace of a snail, sorry, frog. Pehle ant would move slowly, slowly. Frog would jump. Then, in the way of a monkey, and then when you perfect it in a way of a snake, and that's how they would break open the kapal and go to any destination that they want. Go to Siddha Loka, Satya Loka, Brahma Loka, and if they are prayed to Vishnu, they even go to Vaikuntha. Okay, this is the Sat Chakra system. Like Dhruva Maharaj practiced this form of uh, system. Dhruva Maharaj, when he was performing Ashtanga Yoga to take the darshan of the Supreme Lord, he was performing this. He was chanting. So Arjuna is saying that, my dear Lord, this sounds like really difficult. Is there some mantra? Kuch mantra hai kya? And he says, yes, you can chant Om. That's how he recommends chanting Om. And then that is what even Dhruva was meditating upon. Dhruva was saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So that is how he was meditating. And Narada gave him Yam, Niyam, Pranayam, Asanam. He gave him all the details to that. And then he was practicing that. Generally, this type of system is recommended to the kings because they are more in the mode of passion, Rajaguna. They are more in the mode of Rajaguna. And they have the tendency to control the world and the people. That is why this kind of a system is recommended to those who are mainly uh, uh, in the ruling position, king. So this is so then yam niyam pranayam asanam. This is all hatha yoga. Hatha yoga controls the senses, controls the body. So this is how the Muladhara chakras work. So this is for the yoga mishra bhaktas, those who are performing ashtang yogi. But for the pure bhaktas or for the devotees of the Lord, so if somebody says मुझे ये complex process से नहीं जाना ऊपर भैया, rectum close करना, फिर air को ऊपर move करना, धीरे 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 धीरे, it's very complex. Is there something direct? Should the bhakti? Can I just press 25th floor and can the lift directly take me to 25th floor? Yes, so that is also there. You can decide this after me. Ananyacheta Ananyacheta Satatam यो मां स्मरति नित्यया यो मां स्मरति नित्यश तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिना. Sulabha means it is achieved very easily by those who are performing Krishna Bhakti. What a Yoga Mishra is trying to achieve through controlling of the airs and the mind, the Krishna Bhaktas can easily achieve that just by performing sadhana bhakti, just by performing pure bhakti. They can control Krishna with their love. Control Krishna with their, like Mother Yashoda could bind Krishna out of love. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he was 70, when he went to US, he got 2 heart attacks while going on the ship. Can you imagine a 70-year-old person getting 2 heart attacks? If he also planned to leave tomorrow temple for a mission, or forget about temple, if he plan to leave our house to go to Mayapur Yatra or Vrindavan Yatra, and the day before that, if he start getting loose motions or if he falls sick, we will say, Roji nahi aa sakta, ho gaya mera, I will not go to come, बीमार हो, loose motion हो गया, नहीं आ सकता, will not go. We've seen people who have reached the dham and taken a ticket and come back because they fell sick in the journey only. 40 घंटे का जर्नी था ट्रेन में, हालत खराब हो गया, नेक्स्ट डे टिकट लेके सीधा वापस आ गए. Prabhupada 45 days of voyage to US got 2 heart attacks, and he writes at the Commonwealth pillar that, my dear Lord, I've come here, you treat me as your puppet and you make me dance the way you wish me to, the way you want me to dance. This is a devotee of the Lord. So they control Krishna with the love that they have for him. And then Krishna also agrees to become a puppet for them. And Krishna also does the things that the way they would like them to do. So actually, if you want to come to this stage first, we have to become a puppet in the hands of the Lord first. We have to become puppet in the hands of the Lord. We generally don't have that desire. Like Jagannath also, Rath Yatra was there. Jagannath allows the devotees to pull the Rath because he's been controlled by them. Because they have also been controlled by him previously. That is how he allows the devotees to pull the Rath. Otherwise, that's very difficult. So it's through only Kevala Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, pure Bhakti. It doesn't happen without that. So now Krishna starts to comes on the next theme where he says that how to get the impetus to fix the mind on Krishna by describing the results of Keval Bhakti. So what happens when you do Kevala Bhakti? He's talking about the impetus. So in 8.15 he will speak about that, and 18 and 19 will talk about the result of not fixing the mind on him. So what happens if you don't fix your mind onto Krishna? So if you fix your mind onto Krishna, then what happens? You don't take birth again. You don't take birth again. माम उपेत्या पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयम शाश्वतम् नाप्नुवन्ति महात्माना संसिद्धिं परमां गता. Quite simple to interpret, right? Mam upetya punarjanma. You will firstly not take birth again. Why? Because this is dukhalayam shashvatam. Dukhalayam shashvatam. Let's see the translation. After attaining me, napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gata. You will achieve the topmost destination. And such kind of, you are a great person, mahatmana. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world. Ashashvatam, which is full of miseries, dukhalayam, because they have attained highest perfection. They have achieved samsiddhim, paramam, highest. Paramam means highest. Samsiddhim means perfection. You achieve that, because of which you will never come back here again. So this is the result of becoming a pure bhakta, of performing bhakti. And that previously what we were discussing was yoga mishra bhakti. उसमें थोड़ा मिश्रा है, you know. So Ashram yogi, different forms of yogi, karma yogi, gnani yogi, where the bhakti yogi is the topmost. Krishna is mentioning the result again. See, we see in the Gita time and again he is stressing on it. It's not that एक बार बोल दिया, कहीं पे corner में एक बार लिख दिया, ढूंढना है ढूंढ लो. Repetitively, he is repeating. Again and again, again and again, repeating. No rebirth. He is repeating. So having said that there is no rebirth for one who has spiritual world, Krishna will now contrast it with the temporary material world, where there is repeated birth and. So see, this is. See, this is Dhruva Maharaj going to Vaikuntha. And Dhruva Maharaj perfected his life. He's going to Vaikuntha and he's asking, where is my mother? So mother is also coming behind. See. ये वैकुंठ का प्लेन ऐसा ही होता है, ये हमने बनाया नहीं है, किसी को डिजाइनर को हायर करके. डिस्क्रिप्शन है शास्त्र में. So Dhruva was a Kshatriya, right? And he wanted a kingdom which was bigger than his great grandfather Brahma. And when he saw Vishnu, he said, "ये क्या मांग रहा हूँ मैं यार? I want the Supreme Lord and I'm asking for such petty things." But he became a pure devotee of the Lord, and he was initially guided by his mother to go to the forest and search for the Supreme Lord. So he was concerned whether my mother is also coming to Vaikuntha or not. So the Vishnuduta show him the plain. See, your mother is also coming. So many times we get very sentimental and get very worried about our own parents, our own relatives. क्या होगा इनका? मैं तो कर रहा हूँ, मैं तर जाऊंगा, इन लोग रह जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होगा. Because there are many places it is mentioned in the Shastras that our parents, our generations to come, they take up Krishna consciousness. So 7 generations, 21 generations they mention, 7 on each side, mother's side, father's side, and your side. They all get delivered, they all get liberation. Forget about that. Sitaram Prabhu mentions in his lectures a couple of times, Radha Govind Swami mentions कि हम देखते हैं कभी कभार भक्त लोग आते हैं मंदिर में और कुछ महीनों के बाद ऐसे जप माला में जप करते हैं, फिर देखते हैं कुछ सालों के बाद उनके माता पिता भी आते हैं, गले में जोड़ा डाल के भी जप करते रहते हैं. तो एक 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 पीढ़ी तो यही तर गई, एक पीढ़ी तो यही तर गई. What to speak about the rest? We've seen that in many people's life. I see my mother chanting 16 rounds daily. I didn't tell her to chant, but they do it. They take it up. Like Sitaram Prabhu's parents are there. He says he never preached to them, but because he became a sincere devotee, his parents also became sincere practitioners, and so much so that they also took initiation from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj without he putting even any kind of reference. But it's like one generation already done in front of us. So we have to first become serious. You know, we try to take everybody along. Yeah, chal, 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 chal. It's foolishness actually. Let's us पहले पहले खुद पे मास्क लगाओ फिर दूसरों को मास्क लगाओ. कहते हैं ना फ्लाइट में, क्यों कहते हैं? You can save yourself, then you will save others. You are only यार सोच रहा हूँ यार ज़्यादा हो रहा है, नहीं जाता हूँ. Sometimes we are only in doubt. So we should be very drid, vishwas, very strong. So somebody may say, oh, there are many problems on earth, I will go to Brahma Loka. I'll do some yagya, मैं कुछ कर्म कांड यज्ञ करूंगा, ब्रह्म लोक में जाऊंगा, वहां पे मैं शांति से रहूंगा बहुत सालों के लिए. Krishna is saying there is rebirth on all the planets. अहम ब्रह्म पुनर्वल्लोक पुनरावृतनो अर्जुन माम उपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते. He's saying there is rebirth even in from Brahma. So he explains Brahma's one day. Sahasra yoga paryantam aharyad brahmano vidu ratrim yoga sahasrantam te aho ratra vido jana. So Brahma also lives for 1,000 divya yogas. He also has start and end. You know, calculation of Brahma is given over here. Kali Yuga has 4,30,000 years. That's like equal to 1k. Okay. Dwapar is 2k. Treta is 3. Satya is 4. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 10. That's the total of these 4 yugas is equal to 1 Mahayuga. It's called as Divya Yuga or a Yuga cycle. Different names of it. Now in every Mahayuga, 71 in every 71 Mahayugas, one Manvantara comes. Manu comes, basically. Okay. And like that there are 14 Manus. So 14 into 71. 71 into 10. Okay. That comes to, so 14 into 71, 10, that comes to 9940. And then there are Ratris also. So each Manvantara is preceded and followed by a Sandhya Kala. So preceded and followed. There are 15. So is followed by a Sandhya Kala. 15 into 4K, 16. So Brahma lives for 1,000 Mahayugas. That is one day of 1,000 Mahayugas is, one Mahayuga is 4,32,000 years into 10. And that is 43,20,000 years. So 1,000 Mahayugas is 4.32 billion human years. That is one day of Brahma. 12 hours. Similarly, there is one night of Brahma. Similarly, दोनों को ऐड कर दिया 360 days, 360 nights, 360 into 2 into 4.32 billion human years. That is 3.411 trillion human years. That is one life of Brahma. उसमें नहीं है, टाइम लगेगा, मैं इजीली एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है वही है. There is one life of Brahma. So Brahma also has, somebody may say, okay, if I go to Brahma Loka, my life will, expand, and I'll become, have a long life to live and enjoy. But there also one has to face death. So there is rebirth. One will have to face death. And then we saw that in the 18th and the 19th chapter, Krishna speaks about the manifest and the unmanifest states of the material world. So left side we see there's pralaya, right side we see the world. This is activity. So this is daytime and this is nighttime of Brahma. Okay, but the spiritual world is never destroyed. Spiritual world is never destroyed. So this is superior to the unmanifest state of Brahma's night. In this material world, there is another unmanifest nature, which is the eternal spiritual world. This is the night of Brahma, and this is the day of Brahma. Okay? So these two verses, 21 and 22, now speak about the spiritual world. We speak about the spiritual world. अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इति युक्तस् तमाहो परमं गतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. So Krishna is saying that which is, the one who goes there never returns. Tadhamma paramam mama. So that which is, the Vedantas describe as unmanifest. Those are very scholarly. Sometimes they describe it as unmanifest, infallible. That which is known as a supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns. That is the supreme abode of mind. That is my supreme abode. Okay. Having described about his supreme abode, Krishna will now describe the process of attaining. How can you attain this destination? Krishna's abode is attainable by ananya bhakti, just by pure devotion. Purusha sa parapartha bhaktya labhyasva ananyaya yasya yasyantastani bhutani yena sarvam idam tatam. So ananya means unalloyed. Unalloyed devotion to Krishna can help us reach there. So we sometimes see that when we go to somebody's house, one full wall is filled up with different photos of the demigods. सबको अगरबत्ती जलाते हैं. 33 करोड़ है, कोई भी नाराज नहीं होना चाहिए. There's Vishnu also and Krishna also, but that is not the real essence. If you can water the root, then why you would water each and every branch or each and every leaf? Similarly, if you can feed the belly, then will you feed the hand separately, the face, the head separately, leg separately? No. So these are the two examples that are given. That if you just do devotion to Krishna, then everything else is taken care of. One need not go to the different demigods. So what do we do? Do we offend the demigods? No, we do not do that. We do not offend the demigods, but at the same time, we know their respective possessions. We know their respective positions. Like, for example, you may go to an MLA and you may say, Sir, you are a great person. You are the CM. Sir, you are only the PM. Please take this and do my work. The guy will say, Hey, you mad or what? I'm just a small MLA. You made me the PM. Similarly, when we go to demigods, if we treat them as a supreme lord, they know their position. We are foolish, we don't know their position. So we should know how to pray to them. Okay. If you pray to Ganesha, if you pray to Shiva to remove obstacles on the path of bhakti, they can do that. That is what we should know, what to pray to the demigods also. So we know their respective positions. Like if you tell Ganesha, my dear Lord, you are the supreme Lord. To me, Ganesha will say, Arey, my father is also taking the name of Ram. You are telling me I am supreme Lord. Understand? So that will be just foolishness on our behalf. Okay, so that brings us to the conclusion of the third section, which is attaining the supreme. Now we come to the last part, that is devotion, D. So again, coming back to the Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, see, these guys have many conditions for them, rules and regulations. Why? Why are they conditions? Because they are trying to control the mind. They are watching where is my mind flowing. Where is my mind flowing? How my mind is flowing. Hence, there are many do's and don'ts. Like for example, Gnanis and Yogis, whose destination is Brahma Jyoti, then uh, liberation. Then there is a path of light for them. For karmis, the destination for them is like heaven. They want to go to heaven, and there is a path of darkness for them. So, because there is less dependence on the Lord and more dependence is there on themselves, hence, a lot of rules are mentioned. Like, for example, as I said, Gnanis and yogis, they have to leave their body in daytime. When they're trying to control the air within the body and the mind, they try to break upon the kapal and leave this material body, but they have to leave during the daylight. It has to be in Uttarayan, not in Dakshinayan. Uttarayan is between Jan to June. It has to be in Shukla Paksha, not in Krishna Paksha. So these rules and regulations are there. If you don't follow that, then you come back. You come back. See, this guy has come back. So Karmi leaving the body is guided by following deities. The deity of smoke, night, fortnight, Krishna Paksha, year, Pitra Loka, ether, and then the deity of moon exhausts his pious ways and then returns back to the earth. So you may have pious credits. आपने बहुत कर्म कांड किया, आपने बहुत अच्छे कर्म किए, because of which you may achieve swarga. You will go to the heavenly planets. But after achieving the heavenly planets, after your credits are finished, you will come down again. Because everything is within the 14 planetary systems. Na? तो आप वो खत्म होने के बाद वापस नीचे आ जाओगे. स्वर्ग लोक is also within the material manifestation. It is not in the spiritual world. Once you go to the spiritual world, you don't come back. Tad dhama paramam mama. Once you go into that, you don't come back. So Arjuna is saying, Are Baba Krishna, how will you take care of all these things? Yeah. Krishna says, you don't worry about it. He's saying, you don't worry about it. So Arjuna may think, and he's saying, how will you take care of all these things? And all this is so complicated. Krishna says, you don't worry about it. What is the destination for my devotees? He's going to discuss that. Like many times, so Krishna is saying devotees don't need to worry about it. Like for example, a small child, if the parents are planning a trip, 1 month trip to America, does a child really need to worry? Who will get me my ticket? Who will take me on the plane? Will I reach there or not? Who will pack my bag? No. Who takes care? Like there is winter season, the rainy season is going on. Like you have to worry about your windshield and umbrella. But a small child, does he have to worry about it? Who gets us the umbrella? Who gets the windshield? Similarly, for devotees, they are taken care by the Lord. But the devotee is a lover of God. And he has full faith in God. That if any situation, I will be taken care. ऐसा नहीं कि हाँ सुख आएगा तो मैं भगवान का भक्त हूँ, दुख आएगा तो भगवान मेरा नहीं है. It's not like that. It's not like conditional faith. It's full faith. So he's a lover of God. Lover of God means he actually has full faith. राखे कृष्ण मारे कृष्ण राखे के. दोनों में कृष्ण ही मेरा है. मेरे को किसी और से मतलब नहीं है. नैते श्रुति पार्थ ज्ञानम योगी मुयति कश्चन तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु योगयुक्त भव अर्जुन. So he's like, though there are two paths, my devotees are never bewildered. They are never confused. They are always fixed in devotion, because of which they are very clear and they achieve the supreme destination. Like, see, earlier also we have discussed this. There are three kinds of people. There are karmis, gnanis, and yogis. Karmis are bhogis. उनको कर्म करना है और बाद में भोगना भी है. So they have what kind of mentality? Proprietorship mentality. They want to they want to be the proprietor of everything. Proprietorship is related to which kind of anartha? Greed. It's related to the anartha of greed, लोभ, because मुझे और हासिल करना है. There's greed. Like Alexander, he wanted to capture more and more. At the end, he realized, you know, I didn't take anything back with me. So please put me in my coffin with my hands raised air, so that the whole world can see that Alexander the Great did not take anything with him. हाथ खाली था मेरा. Similarly, even Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to acquire all the planetary systems, but was not able to do that. Then there are Gnanis. Gnanis are those who are in the enjoyership mentality. Gnan hai. So Gnan say they want to enjoy. That is leading to which form of anartha? Lust. Because we want to enjoy. And then there are yogis. Yogis have controllership mentality. अपने योग से they want to control. Like Durvasha Muni. They have what? So the controllership mentality relates to what? Anger. So lust, anger, and greed. Karmis, uh, yogis, and gnanis. Lust, anger, and greed. Okay. But a bhakta, but one who's a devotee of the Lord, he is surpassing all these three things. How? How is he surpassing all these three things? See, Karmi is trying to enjoy. He does karma kanda, puja, and he goes to the heaven. He tries to enjoy there. Yogi or a gnani is like a tyagi who is fed up with whatever enjoyment he's getting over here, and he wants to go to Brahmaloka and just be in Shanti. That's it. He's want to finding pleasure. So one is wanting to enjoy here, and one is wanting to enjoy there. But the bhakta wants to enjoy only with the Supreme Lord. Wants to enjoy in the presence of the Supreme Lord. He doesn't want to enjoy away from the Supreme Lord. Like for example, if you find a purse lost on the ground, you pick up that purse, has 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees notes in that. What would you do? What would a karmi do? Karmi will take out that money and he will fly here, fly there, go to shopping, see a movie, enjoy. What would a ginani do? He would leave the purse. Hey, mera nahi, leave it there. What would a bhakta do? What does an intelligent person would do? He would open the purse and see, acha, there is a ID card. This is so and so person. He would try and contact that person, give him back the purse. So the devotee of the Lord very well knows that I am not the controller, I am not the proprietor, I am not the enjoyer. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram is Swayam Bhagavan. And I am not the proprietor of things, I am not the controller of things. He's very well in knowledge of this. He's very well in knowledge of this. Like many times, if you see, we were during Diwali, when we were small, parents would get us a Diwali dress. But the dress before wearing on the day of Diwali, it was offered to the Lord, and the next day you can wear it. So what was taught in that? That we are not trying to enjoy it for we're not trying to enjoy it for ourselves, and we're trying to restrain ourselves from enjoyment. Even the food that is made was sometimes pele it was offered to, you go and offer, put it in the terrace, crow will have something, so that culture was always there, that is taught to us, that is to restrain. So devotee will always offer it first to the Supreme Lord. Lord will offer it and then use it in the Lord's service. But a karmi who is also a bhogi, or a gnani who is also a tyagi will not do the same thing. He would try to be a proprietor. He would try to be an enjoyer, a controller of different kinds of things. Like for example, we see there are so many devotees who stay in temple. Brahmacharis are there. So it doesn't mean that they are brahmacharis. They have उन्होंने सब कुछ त्याग दिया है, and they are going to the Himalayas and sitting over there and not accepting anything. Like when I first time came to ISKCON, I saw a sadhu using a laptop. Like, "Arey, I've seen a sadhu also and I've seen a laptop also, but I've never seen both of them together." So How come? But then we realize that he uses it only to make such kind of presentations to the people. Like even I have a laptop. I don't play video game on this. So it's there. The facility is there, but one has to use it in the service of the Lord. Yukta Vairagya. Okay, Yukta Vairagya. He using everything in the service of the Lord. Like that's what Krishna mentions in the Bhagavad Gita. He's mentioning the 7th chapter, previous verse, that Bhumi Rapo Analo Vayu Kamano Buddhire Vacha Ahankara Iti Ye Mam Bhina Prakriti Astadha. He's like, all these things are my energy, they constitute, they are my energy. All these things are, तो आपका क्या है? कुछ नहीं है. And then he's saying, apart from this, the next also he's saying that aparayam is am prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutanam baho yedam tarate jagat. He's saying, besides this, even the superior energy of mine is also मेरा ही है वो जो. Inferior energy तो मेरा है, भूमि रप अनलो वायु, material elements, these are mine. Superior, उसके beyond जो है वो भी मेरा है. You know? So the devotee is very well in knowledge of these things. कि मेरा कुछ नहीं है. Okay, मेरा कुछ नहीं है. But I'm trying to enjoy. I'm trying to enjoy independent of the Lord, which is not going to be very, very helpful. And it's not going to be very, very helpful. So we cannot loot, we cannot enjoy without the Supreme Lord. That is the proprietorship mentality. Controllership mentality is like, can we control? Yes, we can control. Like Parikshit Maharaj controlled, but he was controlling to stop the progress of evil things, to stop the progress of Kali, but not to control the way Durvasha Muni would like to control it out of anger. We should know how to control. Then comes enjoyership mentality. Enjoyership is like, can we enjoy independent of the Lord? No. Like, suppose there is a gulab jamun in this hand and there is Mysore pak in this hand. Can they, meet each other and enjoy the gulab jamun Mysore pak? No. But if they fill the belly will nourish the entire body. So one jiva comes together, another jiva comes together, and they try to enjoy together. Will they go to enjoy? Because Krishna is not in the center. How will they enjoy? So many times outside also we ask sometimes, क्यों हम लोग तो बने थे एक दूसरे के लिए, क्या हुआ, ये हुआ. Okay, there is no Lord in between. So you cannot enjoy independent of the Lord. Krishna is the center. Jivas cannot enjoy independent of the Supreme Lord. Like if all parts serve if all parts serve the belly, then the belly gives nourishment to the entire body. Like all the citizens of India, they pay taxes to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister in turn does welfare for the nation. Like the students pay the fees to the principal, and principal in terms imparts education. Similarly, the devotees of Krishna, if they love and serve Krishna, then Krishna nourishes them. If we don't do that, I'm going to hell. So that's what Krishna is concluding in the last words. He's saying the supreme position of a bhakti yogi is what? Is this? Vedeshu yagneshu tapahoshu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva yogi param sthanam paiti chavyam whatever results, my dear Arjuna, you can achieve by studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, doing austerities, giving charity, or doing philosophical work, fruitive activities, simply by doing devotional service, you will get the benefit of all of these things. Simply by doing all these things. The same principle. By serving Krishna, who is benefited? I am benefited. Okay, he doesn't need me. He doesn't need me. I am benefited. Ultimately, the gain is for me. Ultimately, the gain is for me. It's not for him. What can we give him? He has everything. He's Purna Purushottam. He's not Adha Purushottam. Purna, full. Purna Purushottam. Prema Purushottam, Maryada Purushottam, Purna Purushottam, fully. It's not half. We are not even Purushottam. What to speak about Purna Purushottam? What will we give him? We cannot give him anything. But by doing devotion to the Lord, the gain is for us. It's not for him. It's for us. It's for us. So you see these devotees of the Lord, they're always happy. I'm over. So devotees are always happy. Bhaktas are always blissful, engage in devotional service. They are never fearful, always have full faith in Krishna. So they easily achieve the Supreme Lord. Sorry. See, they're all blissful. Those who came to Mayapur, they must have experienced that daily dancing enthusiastically. जबरदस्ती खाना खिलाना खाओ यार नहीं खाते खाओ 13-15 आइटम्स डेली लंच इतना तो हमारा कोई इधर भी नहीं खाता होगा डेली 15 आइटम्स इन लंच टू स्वीट्स थ्री स्वीट्स टू स्टार्टर्स थ्री सब्जीज टू राइस वन ड्रिंक दिस इज कृष्ण कॉन्शियसनेस you get benefit of everything by doing Krishna Bhakti केवल Krishna Bhakti you get benefit of doing everything. So yeah, this is the end of this chapter. This is a revision. There were doubts. Then Krishna spoke about how I can achieve death, the end of life. Then how you can achieve the supreme person. Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, how they can achieve and how the devotees can achieve to pure bhakti. And then in the end, devotion. How devotion is the uh, root of everything that we wish to get. Any questions? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, so Yoga Mishra Bhaktas, if they made it upon the Vishnu form, they also achieve Vaikuntha. No? मैंने बताया वो कि see what is their what they want to achieve through Yoga Mishra Bhakti by performing the Shat Chakra system of meditation, Ashtang Yoga. If you want to go to Siddha Loka to Prap Siddhi, you can go there. If you want to go to Brahma Loka, you can go there. If you want to go to Sarga Loka, you can go there. If you want to, if you've made it upon the Vishnu form of the Lord, it's not necessary that Yoga Mishra Bhaktas don't made it on Vishnu. They can meditate on Vishnu also. They know that Paramatma is there within. I'm meditating on the Vishnu form of the Lord. They will achieve Vaikuntha. That's what Dhruva Maharaj's destination was. So he performed Hatha Yoga, he performed Ashtanga Yoga, and he got a darshan of the Lord, and then when time came, he went to Vaikuntha. But the difference is the procedure. एक है you go tuck 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 tuck, और एक है directly. So Bhakti Yoga is like taking a lift, and this is like taking a ladder. Because there are so many conditions ना अगर थोड़ा सा चूक गए then you come back दिखाया है ना if you don't pass in the daylight if you don't pass in the Shukla Paksha then what happens you return back right there's a risk of that so there are many conditions because we are dependent on our own mind and we are dependent on our own mind we are thinking about how my mind is flowing we are not dependent on the Lord whereas a Krishna Bhakta where a pure Bhakta or Bhakti Yogi is completely dependent on the Lord. Like Arjuna was completely dependent on the Lord. When he went to ask for, before the battle, when he went to meet Krishna for requesting him to fight with him, Krishna said, "I'm going to give you my sena. You take my sena." He's like, "Hey, what will I do? What will I do with your sena if you're not there?" तुम्हारे बिना मैं तुम्हारे सेना का मैं क्या करूंगा? आदमी तो ऐसे ही खड़े हो जाएंगे लड़ने के लिए, पर मुझे तुम चाहिए. आई वांट यू टू फाइट विद मी. आई वांट यू टू बी देयर. You don't want to fight, don't fight. Hold the steering wheel. You know? So you be there. Bless me. Be there. Give your glance upon me. कुछ नहीं तो आके दर्शन देना कि कैसे लड़ रहे हैं हम लोग. But be there. Arjuna had full faith in that. Whereas Duryodhana had full faith. अरे कृष्ण तो कुछ काम का नहीं है. बोला वैसे भी लड़ूंगा नहीं. उसको क्या मुझे फ्री में उसको मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा. आएगा तो. I want the Sena only. There's a difference.
My question is that previous lecture we have heard that to transcend the three modes of goodness also we can transcend it, become transcending this, our activity should become like that. But sometimes if I have to give an example, I was just traveling yesterday and I saw someone coming and begging to me, and I was chanting my Ram Durga at night, so that and I didn't have change to spare for that person. So he gave a look at me and he saw my face and he gave one this thing and he went off. So at that point of time, sometimes situations, and even if you see in case as in one of the previous lectures, we heard that even donating blood for that matter is not considered as a good act, which I got very confused about. So now,
No, you give your blood, Baba. If somebody is dying, like for example, if you have a dear friend of mine, friend of yours, A positive, you are also A positive, and he wants A positive blood, जाके खून देना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं. It's a good act. It's not. I'm sure it was not told. It is not a good act. It is a good act. It's a. It's a karma. It's karma. It's not a karma. It's a karma. It's not a karma. So it's a good act. You get pious credit for that. कि आपने किसी को help किया.
then now because of that bias credit, I have to come back.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
But
I'll explain to you. You are jobless this year. You don't have a job. And 1st of January 2023, you made some money from your previous earnings. You deposited in a fixed deposit in SBI Bank. Okay, 7% deposit. आपने पैसा डाल दिया, ठीक है. But आपको 1st February को आपके बॉस ने बोला तेरा काम नहीं है, तू जाओ, ठीक है. ले ऑफ कर रहे हैं, बाइजूस है, निकल जा, ठीक है. ले ऑफ कर दिया, ठीक है. अभी पूरा साल नौकरी नहीं मिला. 31 दिसंबर आ गया, एक साल खत्म हो गया. आपने ईयरली एफडी रखा था. 1 जनवरी को एसबीआई आपको इंटरेस्ट देगा या नहीं देगा? हाँ, देगा ना. क्यों देगा? वो तो बोलेगा अरे तूने तो काम ही नहीं किया, तू तो ऐसे ही बड़ा था वेला, काम नहीं किया तूने, तो किस चीज़ का तुझे इंटरेस्ट चाहिए? यू हैव डन प्रीवियस डिपॉजिट ना, फॉर विच यू आर गेटिंग इंटरेस्ट. यू हैव डन प्रीवियस action, no? Good action for which you're getting reaction. You haven't done anything, but the reaction will come.
then no one will ever, everyone, suppose
Yeah, so an intelligent person will not engage in good and bad activities. He will engage in devotional activities.
but then the part of
Why are you so upset that you don't want to engage? You are looking very upset. Oh, I really want to engage in good activities and bad activities. An intelligent person will not engage in good and bad activities. He will engage in devotion activities because he knows that for every good and bad, I'll have to come back and get the good and bad result. While I come back and get the good and bad result, I can also do more bad and be here only. See, there's a reason that there is a grandson who's born in the family of Ambani. First, they say he's in the Forbes list of the richest grandsons in the world, right? कुछ किया? कुछ किया? कुछ नहीं किया, राइट. अभी बड़ा हो जाएगा, बड़ा हो जाएगा, बोलेंगे हम सपोज कोई इस्कॉन के डिवोटी बोलता है सर भगवत गीता एसेंस ऑफ लाइफ, अरे मेरा पूरा एसेंस एंटीला में, तेरे को क्या चाहिए? यू कम, आई विल गिव यू एसेंस इन एंटीला. यू अंडरस्टैंड? You understand? So previous good karma, because of which birth in Antilla, right? But may not use it in the right way for God realization. It's risky. That's what you're thinking, na? It's risky. That is why once you have been given the knowledge, you have been realized, we've been told, then we should intelligently start acting on it rather than trying to use our intelligence and keep trying. You can be fully working in the outside material world, but you can be at the same time 100% Krishna conscious. That is the art that we have to learn. There are many great solvers like that. Like, for example, there is Amrish Prabhu, who's Alfred Ford, fully working outside. There is Arvind Mafatlal. Now he's been retired and now he's giving his service in the Chaupai temple. Before that, he was completely taking care of the Mafatlal group. So he did not just say he got connected when he like at the age at your age when he was young in the Mafatlal group, but he did not like okay, "Arey, how will I do it now? Can I should will I have to leave my Mafatlal group and come here and sleep on the chatai?" He did both the activities nicely, understood, took guidance of how I can work for Krishna.
I'm just asking a follow-on, and then probably there's an answer to it. Just see if that answer is suitable or not. So, in this case, any spiritual journey shouldn't it lead to compassion or something? And now, if I'm talking about compassion, should I think about that slope that why are you being compassionate about all these souls that anyway
Yes,
going to
yes, that is the quality of a devotee. Devotee is supposed to be compassionate. He's para dukha dukhi. But he's not just dukhi about his own blood relatives. He's dukhi about everyone. Generally, we get dukhi about just our blood relatives. But he's dukhi about every living entity. Not he's para dukha dukhi. Seeing others suffer, he is also crying. But right now, we're not able to see others suffer because we are only not seeing that we are suffering. Right? हम ही नहीं देखे, हमें लगता ही नहीं कि हम अभी सफर कर रहे हैं, हम तो लगे हम तो अच्छे हैं. So paradukhi dukhi is yes, compassionate is the quality. If you see the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya says in the last verse, Arjuna was perfectly eligible to get Krishna consciousness because he was compassionate. There is a quality of a God realized person. So 1.46 says that. Sanjaya is saying that.
but that compassion should not lead to act of goodness.
Compassion should not lead to attachment. Arjuna's compassion was leading him to attachment. Of also uh, so of also forgiving adharmic things. His compassion was leading to him overlooking adharmic things. Sanjay is saying Arjuna has thus spoken on the battlefield and cast his burden on the and his mind is overwhelmed with grief. Yeah, he's saying such a kind and a soft-hearted person whose devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. So you have he was already fit. Soft-heartedness is the quality of a devotee. You cannot be stone-hearted. I don't care. My father is in ICU. I don't care. I'm a devotee. It's not like that. I don't care. But if a father is doing drama, बेटा तू नहीं आएगा तो मेरा heart attack हो जाएगा बेटा, then you have to handle that situation. Understand?
But this is in the context of relative. But in this, just hypothetically, if you take the situation that I encountered yesterday, in that case,
That's okay.
my donation
You
is out of compassion. Should I?
Yeah, you can carry always some prasad and give. You are going in auto. Going in public transport. You'll meet beggars. Did you meet beggar for the first time in your life? No, right? So then you meet beggars often. Carry some prasad. Carry some prasad. Carry some small dry prasad with you. ये लीजिए. हो गया. आपने अच्छा भी कर दिया और प्रसाद भी दे दिया. हो गया अकर्म. Right? Compassion should not lead to attachment. Attachment will lead to entanglement. Entanglement will lead to you coming here and being here only. So you be attached, you be compassionate, but you be realistic. Let's not be unrealistic. Unrealistic is we don't consider birth, old age, death, and disease as painful. That is unrealistic. We consider eating, sleeping, mating, defending as the full is the only enjoyment in life. That is unrealistic. Let's be realistic. So we should have compassion. Like a brahmachari, like I know a brahmachari whose father passed away recently. We booked him a flight and he went to attend his father's funeral. He cannot say, "I'm a brahmachari. Father's funeral I cannot attend." You're not heartless. Understand? Like Prabhupada, I'll tell you an incident. So Srila Prabhupada had two disciples. His name was Brahmananda Swami and Garga Muni. They both were brothers. Okay, and they were young, and they were getting initiated, and they were uh, they were getting initiated. But his mother, their mother was very upset with Swamiji. Okay, एक नहीं दो दो बेटे ले लिए मेरे. एक तो ठीक है, but दोनों. So she had पूरा decided. They had invited her for the initiation, and she had पूरा decided, I'm going to go and be heavy at Swamiji. So when she came, Prabhupada met her. Prabhupada could realize, okay, what is there in her heart and mind. So Prabhupada said, while the initiation was going on, after that Prabhupada said, so we have, your two sons, we are taking care of them, we are giving them facilities, proper food, shelter, everything. So you should give some donation to the society. She is telling the mother, we are taking care of your kids, huh? You should give some donation to the society. The mother is saying, Are, my son's already gone, and he's in turn asking me to give charity also. He's like, I've already donated my two sons, Swamiji. Okay, we will accept them. You understand? So after he took initiation, after they got initiated and the yajna happened, everything happened, they were going to pay obeisances to Prabhupada. It's like, hey, first you go and pay obeisances to your mother. Your mother is great because she's given both her sons in the service of the Lord. And every time when you meet your mother, you pay obeisances to her. So Prabhupada was compassionate. He knew the position of each and everyone in the society. But devotee is not heartless. Devotee is not heartless. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
There is a follow-up question. So, what kind of mindset should we have while we come into this contact when we have to perform this act of goodness? What mindset should we have?
We should have a mindset of giving Krishna Bhakti. When you're giving prasad also to a beggar, you're giving Krishna prasad. So he will get benefit. He will, so his prasad. He is giving, when you're giving prasad, he's only which is going to get benefited. So your act should be to give somewhere or the other something related to Krishna, something related to the Lord. Okay? क्या हुआ? पूछो.
तो अगर उसका कोई डिसरिस्पेक्ट करता है तो उसका क्या करना चाहिए?
किसका डिसरिस्पेक्ट करना
अगर
चाहिए?
हम उससे कुछ जैसे अभी हम भगवत गीता भी देते हैं या प्रसाद देते हैं और उसको उसका डिसरिस्पेक्ट करते हैं, हमारे सामने ना करे बट हमारे
तो हमें
उसका
हाँ, तो हमें अगर डिसरिस्पेक्ट करते तो हमें वो सिचुएशन से, बिकॉज वी डू नॉट वांट हिम टू ऑफेंड, बिकॉज वो ऑफेंड ज़्यादा करेगा तो वो उसकी दुर्गति हो जाएगी, हमारी तो नहीं होगी. Okay, so rather than he progressing, he will go down. So let's avoid him to get into such a situation. So that is also compassion, right? किसी का loss होने से बचा रहा हूँ. Compassion.
here as part of a devotional service we need to inculcate a lot of humility and submissiveness to receive the knowledge that we are supposed to receive, and where we are so humble, वो आत्मविश्वास जो होता है that because when we go सर्व कारण कारण.
No, so humility, yeah, I got your point. Self confidence is different from arrogance. A self confident person need not be arrogant. So humility is utmost important, as you said. It doesn't curtail your self confidence, because with humility you're getting the instruction from the authority. Spiritual authority is giving you instruction, and you're following that instruction also out of humility. With that, the mercy also comes to perform that act nicely with full confidence. Okay, so but what you are, so self confidence यानी हम बाहर देखते हैं कि इसमें self confidence है, so we related to a little bit of being arrogant also.
Because I heard in a lecture ego has two aspects, one superiority complex and one inferiority
Yes.
complex also. So when ego is a form of inferiority complex as well, and humility also we are inculcating, those are badly built that self no, I am capable of doing this, I can, when I venture it, I will be able to do this. Then when will I be able to get that strength upon myself? Now, if I think about myself, then is it again me that I'm thinking, or
So the act that you want to do is a spiritual act or it's like a material act?
what?
No, not both. When you're doing spiritual activities, the guru gives you the strength to do it. When you're doing material activities, your karma gives you the strength to do it. You're doing the material activities for whom? For yourself or Krishna? For yourself, depending on your karma. For Krishna, depending on your desire and Krishna's interference, because you are wanting to do it for Krishna. मैं सेल्स में हूँ, मैं ये डील क्रैक करूंगा, इससे मुझे 10 लाख का कमीशन आएगा, पूरा 10 लाख का कमीशन भगवान को दे दूंगा, ठीक है? तो वो अगर उस माइंडसेट से है, then still it doesn't mean कि 10 लाख आएगा. It depends on your karma also. You understand? वरना हर बार ऐसे सोचेंगे ना, अरे चल, is this for God? 10 लाख, 20 लाख, 1 करोड़. It's not like that. Still there is intervention. But the desire is there, so you will get in future an opportunity where you get an opportunity to donate 10 lakhs. You will get an opportunity because the desire was there. But at that time, your karma was not there. So it's very intricate. But in spiritual life, when you are wanting to do something, the confidence comes with the instruction of the authority. With the faith in the authority, if you perform the action, you will achieve it. Guru mukha padma vakya chitete kariyakya. So if the instruction of the guru is like padma vakya, it's like a final instruction, nothing beyond that. Chitete kariyakya. I keep it in my heart and I perform it with full. Aar na kariyo mane asha. I don't have any other desire. So that is how it is. That is spiritual activity. Okay. Okay, so we stop here and thank you very much. We'll continue the 9th chapter next Sunday, so please stay tuned. Next Sunday we have also SOS, so please come. Please bring your friends, family, enemies, everyone for SOS. And every evening we have chat sessions, you can attend that. Don't miss that. And we are going for Vrindavan